But the LA Times is reporting that there's an electrical transmission tower up in Eaton Canyon that is currently cordoned off. It's being investigated as the possible origin of the fire. Now,
this is what is making headlines right now. Police investigating possible human cause behind LA wildfires. So which is it? What is the true cause behind the wildfire? Is it mismanagement? Is it human cause? Is it climate change? Let's hear what the experts say.
Climate change is extending the fire season and resulting in higher temperatures. So that is contributing. However, you could have had this amount of warming and not had these fires. And the reason we know that is because the forests that were well managed have survived the megafires. In fact, you have these forests, these well-managed forests, you can see them on a map, that survived the megafires, and megafires burning all around them. These high-intensity fires will go from the badly managed forests with all the wood fuel into the well-managed forests, and then the fire drops into a low-intensity fire. It's a really cool process. Still tends to be a little bit hotter than a normal prescribed fire, but it burns through like a healthy fire would burn. So we know that, this is my objection to this apocalyptic climate rhetoric, we know that a well-managed forest will survive climate change.
I agree. I 100% agree. While climate change make it easy for fire and wildfire to start, it is all manageable. It is all manageable. And it was mismanagement, huge error from California's governor.
Massive wildfires are currently tearing up California's west coast, and this has left thousands of buildings destroyed, as well as forced tens of thousands to evacuate their homes. But what most people don't know is that these wildfires have been inevitable for years, and people are just now finding out. For example, if you look at where most of the west coast moisture comes in, you can see that Southern California lies right outside of its range. And this is because while the Pacific Ocean deposits a fair amount of rain into the states of Washington and Oregon, this rain is blocked by a high pressure zone encompassing most of Southern California during the summer months, making it generally way drier than its surrounding areas. During the wintertime, however, this zone briefly shrinks down, giving California almost all of its yearly rain in a very short time period. Now, while this means that Southern California should be having a rainy season right now, 2024 saw an abnormally dry season during the summer, and this left on the surface tons of flammable bushes and shrubbery. Coupling this with the immensely strong Santa Ana winds, and these are the perfect ingredients to create huge and devastating wildfires. Now, with climate change becoming more prominent, it's clear that disasters like this are only going to become more common as the years go by.
It's very sad to see. Now is a time to act. Now is a time to put a great management behind it. And make sure we have water, make sure the forests are clean, and make sure these don't happen again because the winds are here.
I talked to a fireman once. This is one of the reasons that freaked me out. And he was telling me, he goes, dude, one day, he goes, it's just going to be the right wind and fire's going to start in the right place and it's going to burn through LA all the way to the ocean and there's not a fucking thing we can do about it. I go, really? He goes, yeah, we just get lucky. He goes, we get lucky with the wind. He goes, but if the wind hits the wrong way, it's just going to burn straight through LA and there's not going to be a thing we can do about it. Because these fires are so big, dude. When they're talking about like thousands of acres that are burning simultaneously with like 40-mile-an-hour winds. And the wind's just blowing embers through the air, and those embers are landing on roofs, and those houses are going up, and they're landing on bushes, and those bushes are going up, and everything's dry. And once it happens in a way where it's so spread out that there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do.
You just have to evacuate, right?
Nothing.
It was all predictable, honestly. California and LA have been on fire for years. And with the proper precautionary measures, it would have been all avoidable. And let's hear it.
We have to do a better job. We need competent, good governance. Now, that doesn't mean you can't criticize the governor of California for, I think, some very bad decisions over a very long period of time. I mean, some of these reservoirs have been dry for 15, 20 years. The fire hydrants are being reported as going dry while the firefighters are trying to put out these fires. There is a serious lack of competent governance in California, and I think it's part of the reason why these fires have gotten so bad. We need to do a better job at both the state and federal level. So we have to do a better job.
We need to do a better job. Gavin Newsom needs to do a better job or resign now.
Here it goes. I'm calling on Gavin Newsom to resign. I mean, we can make it official. I mean, I feel like it's almost unsaid now. The guy is wholly unfit for this position. Look at the budget. A budget's a reflection of your priorities. We're spending barely $200 million on wildfire prevention, which is an 80% cut from a few years ago. We're spending $5 billion a year on illegal immigrant healthcare. That's what they care about, Larry. They care about illegal aliens. They care about bullet trains to nowhere. They don't care about preventing wildfires or fighting fires. It's not a sexy issue for them. So he needs to go. Karen Bass needs to go. How the hell do you fly out of the state when you know you're going to have an extreme weather event in a dry season in your city? How the hell do you go out of town? And then she says, "Oh, I was in contact. I was on the phone." We don't want.
Yep. That is proper incompetence, proper mismanagement. They need to do better, honestly. Governor Gavin Newsom has been caught cutting the fire budget by 100 million months before the California fire. This is honestly pure incompetence, pure mismanagement. We need to do better and look at what the result is. Everything is completely burned down. Homes have been devastated. There's nothing left, basically. This is terrible. This is very sad for all of the people that live there. This looks like a war zone, honestly. Just look at this. Oh man, there's nothing left. Everything is in ruin. And it is all could have been avoided with better management, with proper water management and forest management. And let's hear this.
They said, "We have no water." I said, "Do you have a drought?" "No, we don't have a drought." I said, "Why don't you have no water?" "Because the water isn't allowed to flow down. It's got a natural flow from Canada all the way up north of water, more water than they could ever use. And in order to protect a tiny little fish, the water up north gets routed into the Pacific Ocean. Millions and millions of gallons of water gets poured. I could have water for all of that land. Water for your forests. You know, your forests are dry as a bone.
Yeah.
Okay?
Dangerous.
That water could be routed. You know, you could have everything. Oh, not only dangerous, billions of dollars a year they spend on forest fires. And, you know, there's a case with the environment. They're not allowed to rake their forests because you're not allowed to touch it. And all they have to do is clean their forest, meaning rake it up, get rid of the leaves, get rid of, leaves that are sitting there for 5 years. And
we'll certainly get rid of the dead fall.
And get rid of the trees that are fallen that, are like.
It's sad. It's sad. Everything is dry. And there's nothing left now. All of this because of mismanagement. Climate change make it much, much easier, of course, for fires to start. But it was all avoidable with proper management, unfortunately. We need better forest management. We need better fire protection. We need better water management. Just look at this. The reservoir is completely empty. And just because Gavin Newsom did nothing to fill it with water, it's sad to see. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And click right there to watch the next one. And I will see you there. Bye bye.